Good afternoon, folks, and today we are going to talk about the Primal belt squat. So let's get a look at it. So guys, here she is. This is the Primal belt squat with kickstand. And with kickstand is very important to me. That was one of the big features that I definitely wanted within my belt squat. So let's get some detail on it and then we'll talk about the process of putting it together and stuff. Anyway, so quickly detail. The length of the unit is just over 46 inches, 46 and a quarter. Maybe 47 if I'm right down under that. The working length out from my squat is 45 and a quarter. The width is set up for 3 inches internally. Externally at this widest point, it's 4 and a quarter inch. And height off the ground on the kickstand, which isn't going to change obviously at the rack end, you can change the height. It's 19 inches. Oh, this measures the weight horn, so we know how many plates we're going to get on there. This is 14 inches. So a few things that obviously I needed was I needed a belt squat for a 3x3 rack. I wanted it to be of a standard of build quality. So look, there's cheaper ones out there for 60, 70 quid. But for this item, I wasn't going to trust them cheaper models. Plus, there's no way the gauge of steel would have been as good. I'm going to say the gauge of steel on the box section is 11. If maybe not even 10, it's really solid. And then these supporting arms here, they're really substantial. These are, I'm going to say, maybe 8mm or so. Yeah, probably about 8mm. So they are very substantial and really well made. The thing is rock solid. The kickstand works off a spring-based unit. So basically you pull this lever and the stand comes up, which allows you to utilise it, and then when you're finished you just pull the lever down and the stand comes down, which is a really good safety feature when you're going to exhaustion. Plus, and I'll demonstrate it later, your starting position is so much more easier. Weight horn, I haven't maxed it out, but you're going to easily get, if you're putting 20s on that, you're going to get maybe 5 20s, depending if they're bumper or rubber. But yeah, you're gonna be able to get plenty of weight on it. Build quality, like I say, the lengths of the actual tubing and steel used, it's really good quality stuff. It's built to last, it's strong, it's going to take a lot of abuse. Only real issue, is it even an issue? Because it's not really for me, but I know some people might. There was a few knocks and nicks on the powder coating. Look, it could have been done when being shipped, but I would be really surprised at that because it actually was really well packaged. So, maybe it was dropped when it was being packaged or anything. There are no dents. There's nothing on it that would worry me at all. It's just scrapes and knocks really on the powder coating finish. Hardware is excellent. It's rock solid. You do get 2 different size of pins, so you get it for your inch hardware and the smaller one is a 1/4 inch or something like that, or I can't remember. 3 inch, I genuinely can't remember, so I'll just be talking nonsense because, to be honest, I haven't even looked at it because it doesn't massively, I don't even know where it is. It's about here somewhere. You can set this up, like I say, for 3 inch or 2 inch racks. Effectively, if you're going to set it up for the 2 inch, this piece here rotates round, and all you do is just fit everything else at a different, angle. So this will flip round. This becomes your 2-inch connector, and it's pretty simple to build. Building took me about 34 minutes in total. That's taking everything out of the box, getting it all out of all its packaging, all the tape off it and stuff, reading the instructions, and I used the tools provided because I felt that was important, because not everyone is going to build these with their own toolkit. If I had used an impact driver, I'd have probably saved myself 10 minutes, because they do supply with wee spanners and stuff, but they're the really wee thin spanners, and they can be quite, when you're really starting to nip things up and tighten it up, it can sort of dig into your hands a wee bit. So I would certainly invest in a socket set if you're going to get into the whole home gym sort of community, because you're going to be building a lot of equipment, a lot of this type of equipment. Again, key features for me was, number one, I had actually bought a landmine attachment from Primal. It's on the side of the rack there, and again, I felt that it looked like the quality was right for the price, and I was absolutely spot on when it arrived. It's really sturdy and well made, and will stand up to years of abuse, and that sort of thought gave me confidence then to go out and buy this, because at $149.99, which is the price they're selling this on their website, this was £100 cheaper than anything I seen that was coming close to its features. And I thought, initially when I was looking at it, I thought, well, I'll take a risk. And that's kind of as well why I bought the landmine, to see what's their stuff like, because I've never had anything from Primal. This rack is a strong muscle squad rack, so it isn't necessarily designed to go with, or this, should I say, the belt squat isn't really designed to go with this rack, so I did have to make a wee adjustment, i.e. I just had to drill out the holes at the side, because on my rack these are only 15mm, so the side holes, I could have set it, rotated this around 90 degrees, and the belt squat could have been coming out this way, but for the room and the access I needed, it had to come out this way. So, and it was really simple. I just used a step drill, just drilled through, got these holes out to 1 inch, job done. So that in itself probably took me, say 20 minutes to drill the 2 holes. Not a big deal. But like I say, I'm massively impressed with value for money in this item, and was massively impressed as well for value for money for their landmine attachment. And really, if this is the level that Primal is offering for the financial package, they're doing a really good job. Now, the reason why I'm doing this review is I'm not necessarily known for doing reviews, but I've decided that that's something I'm going to add in. If I buy new pieces of equipment, there's a couple of other bits and pieces I'm going to review as we go on through the channel. But it's because if you're like me and you're online constantly looking for reviews on equipment, because I tend not to buy anything until I've probably researched it to death, because I don't want to waste my money, and I have been burnt before, so it's just one of them things, lesson learned type of thing. But you tend to find that everything online is US based, and a lot of stuff you cannot actually get over here. So I thought to myself, right, I'm going to do a review on it, and it'll be a completely honest review, because like I say, this is not in any way sponsored by Primal at all. I bought it with my own money, and everything I say here is 100% how I view the product. So build time 34 minutes, but you could easily get that down to probably just over 20, and probably less, but especially if you've built one before, they're pretty standard. The actual build quality of the unit, really good. I would give that a solid, 8.5, 9 out of 10. I don't think anything it's certainly not going to fall apart. Not anything that I'm going to throw at it. Finish Finish is where it'll drop a wee bit simply because there was knocks and bangs on it. And it was the same actually with the landmine attachment. There was a few knocks and bangs on it. So I'm going to give the finish 5.5 out of 10. 6, say 6. 5.5. Yeah, say 6. We'll say 6. Because it could have happened in shipping, but I really don't see how because the box was in perfect shape. Usability, I absolutely love it. Like I say, the squat stand gives you, or the kickstand gives you the height where you can just set down in, get your weight at a comfortable position, drop out the kickstand and off you go, and it works really smooth and I'm really delighted with it. Would I recommend this product? Absolutely. If you're in the market, and do you know, I was nearly going to say if you're in the market for a budget piece of equipment, but absolutely not. If you're in the market for a belt squat attachment for your rack, a 3-inch rack or a 2-inch rack, I don't know how spending £300 on a rack that maybe has double weight horns out the side or whatever, you might be able to load some more plates on it, but I won't need to personally. I think if you're in the market for a really good belt squat for a 3-inch or a 2-inch rack, you gotta give this a serious bit of consideration. It's definitely a really good piece of kit, and I actually think Primal has smashed it out of the market. So anyway, that's my review. I hope the information I've given you is useful, and I hope this will help you make a decision to buy one or not. And like I say, if you're in the market, certainly get over to Primal and get a look, because I'm really impressed. I'm going to give it an overall solid 8.5, maybe creeping towards that 9 out of 10. And the only thing that's letting it down from that is the knocks and bangs when it arrives. So like I say, that could not even be Primal's responsibility. That could be shipping, etc. So yeah, get yourself over to Primal, check it out. $149.99. I think it's a steal. This is David, Fit 50. Peace out.